to go live with that. Live. Oh, how do I get the connection for it? That's going to be the tricky bit. Now I just need the... Oh, here we go. Came up in Discord. There we go. Right, so that's sorted. That's sorted. Test patterns there. Right. Well, I've got everything back on my end. Now they found me. So that's that working. Right, just let me.
Right, have we got a new
yeah,
YouTube
it's
stream?
in Discord that popped up.
Okay, now let me shut down.
Pop out chat. Need that.
Get rid of that one.
Yeah, we've already got
are.
Fred Stellarium. Alright, we found us over there. We'll just have to see if the others find us. Get rid of
Excuse
that.
me, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Think I'm back. I've got the chat.
My missus went to A&E earlier on because I think might have broken a toe, and got there and found out for reasonably minor injuries you have to make an appointment for A&E now. You have to phone in advance.
You're joking.
No. And apparently he's been going on for the last 2.5 years. I'm like, really? Used to me. So luckily she got an appointment at 2 o'clock. So there's no point in her coming home. So she's staying up there until 2 o'clock until her appointment.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have been in and out of hospitals
the
last few weeks, but that's work related.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know about A&E.
Well, I mean, the last 2 times obviously was by ambulance, so that was a different story. I don't think you need to make an appointment for an ambulance. I don't think there'll be a sad day if you had to.
I would hope not that you turn up with the blues and twos going and
have you got an appointment?
Your name's not down. You're not getting in. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's not far off that. It's getting bad.
A&E by appointment.
Yeah.
Not even by royal appointment, just appointment.
Just an appointment. no royal scene needed. But yeah, ridiculous.
Oh, let's not talk about the royals, eh?
Oh, and Andrew. Sorry, did I just say? Oops.
Did you? Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never met him before either. Can you give me £12 million as well?
Yes, please. Yeah, 12 million quid for not knowing somebody. Yeah, I'll take that.
Fondle, we're not going to go from the top again, are we?
Oh, and a £12 million payoff for something he didn't do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I had all sorts of things going here before, didn't I? Now I've got to find everything again. Well,
it was about 10 minutes into Arctic's video about Lindsay.
And you put that in where? Any other vids, wasn't it?
In any other
vids,
yes.
Right. So I'll grab that.
Oh, Secretary's doing his job well. That's good.
Well, that's what they get paid for.
One tries one's best.
What do you get paid for? How much do you get paid, Farmers?
He gets paid 4 times as much as I do.
Yeah, he does. He does actually.
Square root of nothing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right, I pay evenly.
What is the square root of fuck all?
Fuck all.
I'll make you a cup of tea.
That would be fuck all to the power of a half.
Yeah.
I just made one.
Well, that's a good idea. I fancy one now. I'm gonna go. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, well, I'll have one. Farmer will have one too, won't you, Farmer?
I saw farmers
Actually,
sipping
yeah,
it.
the camera's at the right angle. You can actually see the tea in the mug.
Oh, you've already just gone
Yeah,
and made
I
one.
know.
I'm here trying to get the internet going back on and get this all set up, and I can't even go and get my own cover.
I'm sorry, I couldn't do any of that for you. So whilst you were doing that, I fucked off downstairs and made a cup of tea.
Ah.
You've got a cup
Oh,
of
now
sausages
Matt
there.
can
I'll
go
be
and
back.
do it. You know how to make my cuppa, Matt? I think he's gone. You better make it right.
You know how to make the froth of the cappuccino and the sprinkles? Blackadder style.
Oh, this is playing now. I've got no idea where we're up to.
We were a good 10 minutes in at least, I think. He made
Yeah.
mention of Mercury and eclipses and
Yeah, look, I've got no
that's when
idea
it
where
all
we're
beat
up
Tom.
to.
Yes, Dory, you can have at least as much as I'm paid. Quite, yeah, I'm sure he got no trouble paying you that.
It's the black hole of creation. There we go. Our sun is
Not the
on.
black hole of Calcutta then.
Yeah, that was up to that bit. Black hole that creates the lunar eclipses. Yeah, you said that.
Mercury apparently was involved in all the lunar eclipses somehow.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The planets, they have to be in line, so all the mythological, religious stories all refer to Mercury.
What do you mean, Dora? We were just up to the dirt part. That's the bloody start. We're not going back to the beginning again. What is that?
Oh, Dora, where are you?
Which dirt part was that? The part where Bob reckoned in earlier times he could have got a Nobel?
He could have, yeah. In
Oh,
another
yeah,
universe or another timeline or
in a galaxy
far away.
He would still have been classed an idiot there.
Oh yeah, Dora. Eclipses are called transits, yes. So I'm only guesstimating
got the
where
name of
we're
the band
up
from?
to. I'll better share you the doodad thing.
Oh, there we are. That was it.
There we go. I've got the text up so I can just sort of clip through to see where we're up to.
Oh yes, the black holes.
Yeah,
the
I
sun.
guess technically speaking, a transit of Mercury or Venus is an annular eclipse, right?
In the broadest possible sense of it, I guess. Maybe.
Technically, yeah. Technically, it is. Oh,
Yeah, but
goodness.
there's an eclipse somewhere all the time, isn't there? I heard that from somebody.
It just happens to be all penumbra.
Don't you dare say that, guys. Do not besmirch your good channel with his name.
I didn't say anything.
No, I know exactly who you're on about. Because they happen every month, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that we don't see them because sometimes they happen over the sea.
Milky Way like an egg and a nest. Are we up to that bit? I don't remember saying egg and nest, so we
I
might
don't
be up to near
remember.
there.
No.
We're up to that. Okay, we're up to that bit. In a brine.
We was talking about the black hole of creation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got.
Just go from there, Terry.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go from
Yeah.
around here
It's all
somewhere.
the same old bollocks, isn't it?
Which I'm really hoping doesn't have anything to do with Oprah Winfrey. We'll find out.
There's a joke there, I know. As long as we all don't get one.
Are we back? Are we? Are we back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make my cuppa right?
Yeah. Milk, tea, sugars, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah, there you
a
go.
big mug, my favourite one.
Oh, big pint mug. Yeah.
Thank you.
But Mercury is involved with the all the eclipses. So you've got the black hole aligned with the sun. The sun moves around the horizon of the black hole. It's tucked in. It's tucked into the Milky Way like an egg in a nest. Even the Christian story of Jesus and all that's all related to that because it's what's a manger?
Ow.
It's a long trough. It's the Milky Way.
Nah, it's not
The
important.
sun is Christ. And basically the black hole is God, but Christians will hate me for saying that sort of stuff. But
Oh,
it all comes from in there. So the alignments are black hole, sun, Mercury. Oh no, or yes, something like that. And the black hole is an amplifier. Science knows an amplifier. It amplifies our whole realm. It's pretty mind blowing. You've got to go.
How can a black hole amplify something?
We're not taught this stuff.
You want?
No, absolutely, we're not. When you say it's a black hole, what exactly do you mean by that?
It's a black hole.
An amplifier and a black hole.
It's a vortex. It's in the center of a vortex. If you vortex water, like a whirlpool or whatever, you've got the hollow core. That's the place of inertia, basically, where that Earth sits. Earth sits, horizontally in that black hole.
He's even finding it hard to explain to them.
Americans tell us Earth is from the hole.
It sits horizontally over the black
vortex,
hole. What?
The void.
What?
It's the place of
but
rest.
it's
There's nothing
horizontally
going on
level?
in the center of a void.
Right.
That's
the
why
darkness.
Earth is there, and it's the place of rest.
Not going there.
Yep,
Okay.
the
And
darkness.
everything
And not
moves
only
around
that,
it.
right, and not only that, they've said that if the sun, of course, is representing Christ, and we are speaking in metaphor here, and there's a lot of this that I think is a duality with metaphor to be able to tell this story, not only of a religious paradigm, but what's actually happening in our creation. But if the black sun is in fact feeding the energy to the white sun and the moon, then there you have it. You would have God feeding it to his son, the sun
That's right.
and the moon, and it coming up through that vortex, which of course has always been stated to be there at the North Pole. So I'm right with you 100%.
So let's look at who's present at this show. It's Bob, Jernisp, Witsit, Numorgul, Good Times for All, and they accept this nonsense. It's not the model they claim that they have proved, but as long it's not a globe, they think it's great. This is a proof that they don't have a model, they can't explain anything, and they then mix in God, old beliefs and religions. This is so easy to debunk. North Pole can be visited as a tourist. I have friends that have been there several times on scientific missions on Swedish icebreakers. You can pay and fly there with planes as a tourist, and it's in no way, shape or form forbidden for people to visit. Okay, this is a quite long show. I will spare you the rest, but this stupidity goes on.
Oh, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't get to watch the
Wow.
whole episode. That's okay.
So it just shows that Bob and his crew will just eat up any old dirt as long as it brings in super chats and money.
Yeah. Where are they going to
It's
go
about-
with that one?
Yeah.
All right.
It's all part of the grift, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And they'll play that up to mean something and not disagree with it or whatever. Yeah, all good.
Oh.
Yeah. Praise him.
Phrasing.
The Bible said on the second day God made the vortex. Yes, Flo. Just before cats, but after clouds. Oh. There we go for TikTok. I'm a bit
You
lost
must
in.
have 1:45.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost in organisational thinking at the moment. What do we usually do after we do dirt videos of a type?
A quiz.
Quiz.
Oh,
Yeah.
a good quiz
Just
or
when
a,
we've fried
or
our
a Paul
brains.
quiz? A good
Just
quiz
when
or
we've
a
fried our
Paul
brains.
quiz? Oh, sorry, Farmer. I was talking all over you.
No, it's your show, mate. You're in charge.
Oh, I am too. So, thanks for that.
Don't do it again.
So,
You're cheeky, brother.
Here, I'll make you co-host next time. That way you can sort me out.
can't carry on.
Righto. Slap you down and say, oi. No.
Yeah, well, we've got all these special little tools we can use.
Yeah,
in
might as
here.
well.
So I like the older version where you could do the ticks and everything and the coffee stuff, but you got to actually find that now.
Oh yeah, where did all that go?
Oops, I don't want that. I just broke it. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want a game. I don't want to play games.
Let's play global thermonuclear war.
Nobody wins. Everyone loses.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This
I
is
mean,
the
you
war
got the
room.
reaction thing. Yeah, it's got coffee, so I can put my coffee thing up. I don't know who sees that.
Oh yeah, I can see that. It says you're away. He's off with the fairies.
Look, it just shows the coffee in mine.
No, yeah, there's a mug and it says I'm away.
Oh. Okay then.
I stand
Oh,
in the
yeah.
actions. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do raise hand.
So
Yeah.
Lower hand.
Yep.
Oh, it moved me over there to where you are.
Well, you don't know.
Stop pushing buttons, Terry.
What
Terry,
happens
you
if I
told
push
yourself.
this? What happens if I push this button? Well, what
Well, you
happens?
don't
A little light lit up that says, "Please do not push this button."
use
again."
button. Yeah.
Big red button.
Yes, Blue. What's your question?
How do I turn it off?
Go to lower hand
you-
in the same place it says lower hand.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
it says raise hand, it will now say lower hand.
Oh,
There you
There.
go.
There you go.
Unless you want to spend the entire rest of the show going,
Just keep your hand up the whole time.
me, oh, me.
And if you click
it?
on
Oh,
the
yeah,
little
there you go.
3 dots on the side, you can scroll down through the normal emojis,
Oh, yes.
and then you can
Yeah.
put up anything like the normal ones. Like I can
What
go, haha.
It's a camel. It's a camel.
That's a camel, is it? I
I
can't
don't know why
tell.
there's a camel, but there's a camel.
They can,
Oh, shit, how do I get
yeah,
rid of
they
it?
can see it out there.
Have I got now to find that camel again and unclick it? Oh, crap. There it is. Oh no, it disappears after.
Oh
a while.
yeah, it does disappear after a while. Yeah. So you got the normal section of the emoji things. Whatever you do, don't press
All
the.
right.
Oh, don't push the button, Terry. Lindsay may restart. You mean this
There's
button?
hours of Lindsay to get through. Yeah, hours and hours.
What I thought I'd do is just start with something a little bit different.
Oh, don't forget the other thing, Paul.
It destroyed itself while you were away having.
You let
And
go,
that's what
didn't
it was, and I pulled it down, and it flew to bits.
He thought he'd demonstrate it, and it didn't work because it fell apart.
I could set it up after, like if you play a video after the questions, then I can do that. But what I thought I'd start with is some high school level physics. All right.
Oh, like,
I'm gonna. Sorry, I've got to go now. See you later.
No, don't
So,
you dare! I
what
super
I'll-
glued you to your chair.
Oh damn!
What I'll do is each time, just before the hard quiz or the easy quiz or whatever quiz I decide to do, I'll do a question, or we'll explore a question from a end of high school physics exam.
Year 12.
Okay, so this is year 12, last year in high school, year in Victoria, physics exam. So this is a question from electric power. Can you see that all right? Or
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see that. Yeah.
All right. So the question here is that we've got a vertical wire carrying a current I is placed opposite the centre of a permanent bar magnet as shown in figure 1. So there's the diagram. So you've got this platform with a hole in it and a wire going vertically there, and it's carrying a current in the upwards direction. And you've got a bar magnet placed like that. And the question is, which of the arrows, A to F, best describes the direction of the magnetic force on the wire at the point P? Point P, for those that can't...
Yeah, in the middle of the hole there.
Is in the middle of the hole there, okay? So you've got to select which of those directions. Now, it's not asking for the direction of the magnetic field. It's asking for the direction of the force on the wire there. Has anyone got any idea how to answer this question or what's involved here? I thought I'd let you guys explore it for a little bit and let the chat explore it for a little bit and see what
How do they want us to describe the force? Just by just saying C, B, D, F, A in that vector? Is that what the answer is?
Yeah, they're just the directions. You've got to
Yeah.
pick one of those directions.
Pick one of those
the
directions,
Force on the
okay.
wire. Yeah.
Well, out of 6
So,
directions, we've got 6 chances of getting it right.
You got a 1 in 6 chance of guessing it right, I guess.
Yeah.
So the direction of current, I take it, is that figure I. Then that's the direction of
Yes.
current, right?
The current's travelling
Okay.
upwards in the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any idea how
So
to
if
approach this, or what?
north
Yeah, I'm trying to work out the
what
magnetic
laws of
force on the
physics
wire.
or what principles of physics are involved here?
So this is
I know
why I always left
it's
electrics
way
alone.
beyond me. I know what a magnet does, and I know what wire does.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got a current
Anyone
going
else
in.
got any ideas, or
I'm only
how's
thinking
the
of a
chat
current.
going?
I'm thinking in current, like as in a motor, with the windings around. And then you can have a magnetic field around it for a motor. I wonder if that's got any clue in there.
Well, it does. It has something to do with it, Terry, because when you pass a current through a wire in the presence of a magnetic field, you get a force on the wire in a particular direction. Okay, that's the whole principle by which electric motors work, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking about the left-hand rule is what we're doing.
Exactly, Blue. It's the left-hand rule. Do you want to explain what the left-hand rule is?
No.
No?
No, I don't.
You got yourself into it, Blue.
Yeah, I know. I should have kept my mouth shut, shouldn't I?
Well,
Yeah,
go ahead.
with
Try.
the left-hand rule, that's a way of visualizing the relationship between the field of current and the thrust in a motor or the motion. And in this case, let's see, what will we have? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
We got-
Well, you've got the right principle there. It's the left-hand rule that relates the force, the current, and the magnetic field. Okay. It's called the left-hand rule because you use your left hand for it, right?
Right.
And you use the thumb and the next 2 fingers. So now, if you make a set of axes with those 3 fingers, if you point your thumb straight up, you point the next finger straight out from your body, and the other finger, that's your middle finger. If you point that at right angles to the other 2, so it will point towards the right if you're holding your hand out in front of you. Okay, so thumb upwards, index finger pointing straight outwards, and the other finger at right angles to both those, so it should be pointing towards the right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the way I used to teach my students to remember this easily is that you pretend it's a gun, right?
Yeah.
And that you're with the FBI. You're with the FBI. FBI, pow, pow, bang, bang. The F is the thumb. That's the direction that the force will go in. The B is your next finger. That's the direction the magnetic field is in. And the I is your other finger. That's the direction that the current's flowing in. And what you've got to do is you've got to try and orient those axes to match the direction that those fields and current are in the diagram. And we always used to know that this was the part of the exam that the students were up to, because they'd be sitting there contorting themselves around with their left hand, trying to align their fingers with the directions of the fields and currents in the question. So you've got to somehow manage it so that that third finger is pointing straight up.
Yeah.
And then you've got to know what the direction of the magnetic field is around that bar magnet. So what does a magnetic field around a bar magnet look like? How does the magnetic field go around a bar magnet?
From the top to the bottom on the outside.
What's the top?
The north.
It goes from one pole to the other pole.
North.
Yeah.
Generally, we draw.
It comes out of the South Pole and goes back into the North Pole. Is that right?
Yeah, in an arc, right?
I think it might be the other way around, right?
North to south.
Yeah,
in
that's
an
what
arc.
I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
North
So,
to south.
so in that case, it's got to repel then, isn't it? Surely.
So the magnetic field direction at point P will be in which direction?
Sideways.
Away from us.
B.
It'd be in the direction of B. That's correct, because if you draw a line that goes from the north, sort of comes out of the north, goes around, and goes into the south,
Then it's heading
Right.
away.
be travelling.
It's
It
going
will be
in the
heading
direction
that
of
way
B.
in the direction of B. So now you've got to put your index finger in that direction, right? So the current going upwards, the magnetic field going in the direction of B, and then the resulting force will be the direction that your thumb is pointing. Okay?
Ah, okay.
That will be in the direction of
D.
D is correct. It's the correct answer. Yeah, D. So the Y will feel a force on it in the direction of D in that example. Okay?
Okay.
So there is a little bit of physics for you. Okay?
Wow.
This is
Right,
why I
so-
stick to air down the duct and water down the pipe.
Yeah. At least there you've only got two directions.
Yes.
50% chance of getting it wrong.
Exactly.
Or getting it right.
It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Yeah, I thought I'd just do a simple question.
Hey, Blue, I only went through.
I'll do a question like this each time. Okay.
Wow.
Maybe we'll learn a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And in
now,
the meantime, live long and fester.
yeah, exactly. That's right. So now what I'll do is I'll get the
Sorry, prosper. Live long and prosper.
Prosper, yeah.
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
get
but
the,
didn't someone say it sarcastically to somebody in one of those Star Trek things when he actually said it back to somebody? He said it
Possibly.
like in that scene. It just felt like that he was saying it sarcastically to him.
I think Fester sounds better. Sounds funnier.
Live long and fester.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds much better. Bit of comedic value to it.
Okay. Here we go with the hard quiz. All right. So you're ready now that you've all been.
No,
doing
no.
the
Just can you just
question.
so that just
Can
stay
we-
there for
can
a
we-
minute?
Can we just dwell on that for a moment? It's not enough nice beaches around here.
So your brain's dysfunctional yet?
There's not enough beaches around here, full stop. All right, go for it then.
Here we go. Okay. So, question 1. Forms of these substances with high Lundquist numbers undergo a form of reconnection anomalously fast. What are these substances?
Didn't you write the girl with the dragon tattoo?
I haven't got the internal chat up either.
That's okay. Don't think anybody's typing it.
Let me see if I can get it up. I can't get it up while I'm sharing. That doesn't sound right either when I say that. Let me just stop sharing for a moment. I'll get the chat up and then I'll reshare. Okay. There we go. Right, now I can see your answers. Okay. All right, another clue. Another clue. Okay. Where are we?
Yes, Zablon, you did hear him say that.
Yeah. Longitudinal space charge waves in these substances experience Landau damping.
Oh, now he was in Space 1999
99, yes, he was.
and Mission Impossible.
Ah.
Martin Landau.
I had to go and re-watch that first episode of that to find out why the moon moved.
Wasn't it a dump of atomic something or other that went up? Okay, it's a long time since I watched that.
Yeah. These substances can be confined in a Z pinch. Come on, do you know your electric universe stuff?
No.
No, my name's
Big
not
Blue's
Grim.
got the right answer.
I tend to
Yeah.
avoid Electric Universe.
Yeah, Blue's got the right answer.
Does he?
Yes. The Saha equation can only be used to describe these substances when they have a large Debye length. Not Newtonian materials. Not Martin.
Martin? Who's Martin? Martin Landau.
Matt's right too. Well done.
No,
Really?
he
You
couldn't
serious?
be. You couldn't be.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm right. Oh, that's a
I am
total
serious.
guess.
You are.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Hey, don't knock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was only slightly educated guess, and I mean really.
Okay. Well, there you go. You got it
Really
right.
done well.
The non-thermal variety of these substances can be used to power MHD generators.
Ah,
Do you know what MHD stands for?
No.
One thing only, Vasily.
I've heard of it, but I wouldn't know what it is.
Would that happen to be magneto-hydrodynamic
Hydrodynamics. Yes.
That's exactly what it would be.
The Caterpillar
Exactly,
drives in
yeah.
Red October.
Not superconducting material.
No, Dora got it though.
Yeah. She did.
Wow.
Tokamaks use magnetic fields to confine these substances.
Mm.
You should know by now.
Yeah.
The reactants in a nuclear fusion are always in this state of matter.
That would have definitely given it away.
It should
sure.
definitely give it away. Name this fourth state of matter, an ionized gas that comprises most stars. If you don't know it by now, you never will. And you are right, it is plasma.
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 Okay.
Well, I'm buggered. I got it that early. Never thought I would.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good on you, Matt.
All right. Question 2. It's not Russia, but after this country's King Alexander III fell to his death from a horse, he was succeeded by his granddaughter, Margaret, Maid of Norway. Which country?
No idea.
It rings a
No.
very vague bell, but I just can't place it.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't ring any bells at all.
Another king of this country was derisively known as Tum Tabard, and he was crowned at the Abbey of Scone, which held a Stone of Destiny. Which country? Not Russia, Terry. No. Not Lithuania. No.
Still none the wiser.
Okay. Farmer's Boy has it correct.
Ooh.
Well, it's the second question that gives it away, I think.
Yeah. That king, John Balliol, established the Old Alliance with France.
Oh, old alliance with France. I would have said Prussia, but Prussia's already out, isn't it? So it's not that.
Oh, well, John Rapp, if you can't read the tiny print on your phone, you just have to listen to the questions.
That's no excuse,
Mippet
John.
69 has come up with the correct answer.
Oh,
So
Mippet.
has
Fred.
So has Farmer's Boy in the internal chat. The answer is indeed Scotland.
You can
Ah.
see, you can see when the Peanuts heard the second question, because I think that
Yes.
gave it away.
Yeah. He was succeeded by the victor of the Battle of Bannockburn, effectively ending Edward II's invasion of this country. Name this country that was led in its first war of independence against
Robert the
England
Bruce.
by
Yeah.
such men as Robert the Bruce and William Wallace.
Yeah.
You should have got it from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jilly Jocko Land.
Well done, Mippet. Hello, Mippet. Anyway,
And
good to see you.
well
I
done.
think it was Fred that got it first.
Yeah, I'm just
Was-
scrolling back
okay.
up to see. Liam
Yeah.
But-
got it.
They could have been.
Brimfondle sort of got it. Fred, Mippet. Yeah.
Of course, if you watch Braveheart, all the Scots are wearing kilts, which is pretty clever because they hadn't been invented then.
Oh, hadn't they? Oh, there you go.
Really?
I learned something new every day.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Before-
just one of many, many, many inaccuracies in that film.
Oh,
It's an
just-
entertaining flick, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. Don't let a mere fact get in the way of a good story, Farmer's
exactly.
Boy.
Well, I mean, like, there's many movies that, are factually incorrect. Apollo 13
Yeah.
being one, but all for dramatic effect. And
Yeah,
it's
why have
entertainment.
facts? Why let facts get in the road for good entertainment?
Exactly.
Okay, question 3. This person betrayed Deiphobus by hiding his sword before a battle.
It sounds like two Martian moons.
No? Okay. While hiding in Egypt, this person was replaced by a facsimile made of clouds.
Wow. Okay. No, it couldn't have been
Clever,
Helen.
isn't it?
That sounds like something Lindsay would say.
Don't it just? Oh,
Yeah, I don't know where Mippet's been hiding. Haven't seen her for a while.
it's been a
Yeah,
while.
she's usually in the shelves, but she hasn't been on the shelves for a couple of weeks either. So yeah, we missed you, Mippet. We missed you.
To torment a group of hidden warriors, this person mimicked the voices of their wives.
Wow.
This is starting to ring a bell.
Not Lindsay.
Yeah, that would be torment.
Claudicus. No. This person was kidnapped by Theseus, but later rescued by the Dioscuri.
Isn't it by Thesaurus? Blimey.
I'm not familiar with this one at all.
No.
Not ringing
Oh,
any
you
bells.
are, you just don't know it yet.
Okay.
The oath of Tyndareus was sworn by the suitors of this woman, who ultimately married Menelaus.
No my mythology at all.
Ah, it's not Isis. Aphrodite offered this woman to a prince in exchange for a golden apple labelled "for the fairest one." It's not Athena Blue, no. Come on. The face that launched 1,000 ships should go away for you. Belonged to what beautiful woman whose
what's her
elopement
name?
with Paris started the Trojan War? Come
I know who it is,
first
but I can't
person
think
in
the name.
internal. Come on.
What is it? Oh, what's her
Come
name?
on.
Fucking damn bugger. What's her name?
It wasn't her then.
That one.
That is the right one, Terry. Yes, and I believe
See, somebody else
who
got
was
it out
Got
there
it
earlier.
way back there.
Dora.
It was Dora.
Dora.
We got it right early, but I couldn't say so because
No, you couldn't.
otherwise, yeah, yeah, and it was indeed Helen.
Yeah.
Oh, Helena Troy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn it.
Although she didn't
Right.
obviously launch 1,000 ships to the face because she wouldn't have been that good looking, would she?
Well, not according to the movie, she wasn't. No.
Naufragia, the Latin word for shipwreck, often occurred in this non-water related activity. which typically featured objects called spinae. What is this non-water related activity?
Spinae, that sounds Latin, doesn't it? Spinae. Sounds very Latin. Spinae, no, it's not ringing any bells.
Okay, I'll give you another clue then. Many participants in this activity hailed from Lusitania, including Gaius Apuleius Diocles, who is hailed as the richest athlete of all time. What is this activity? It's not archery, it's not pub crawls.
Pub crawl.
The bigger and quadriga were two things used in this activity. Not bowling, not rock climbing, not the javelin. No.
Hmm.
An instance of this activity led to violence between the green and blue factions of the Demes in the Nicker riots. Not the discus. Not the javelin. No. Not wrestling. Not the marathon. The Circus Maximus and the Hippodrome were the site of what ancient sport that saw competitors race around tracks or sport carts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to spell it now.
Yes, and I believe
chariot
that,
racing.
Got to type it,
out
Matt.
in the Peanuts first. It was Rimfondle that got it first out in the Peanuts.
I already got it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Chariots.
It was indeed chariot racing. Yeah. Okay, question 5. This man trained children to shadow speech given to them through an earpiece, a concept he named after Cyrano de Bergerac.
That name does
Who
ring
was
a
this
bell.
man?
And he got a big nose.
Is it too small? Is it too big?
Sex,
all you
sex,
think
sex. That's
about?
all you ever think about.
Yeah. Walter Carnap and fake stigmatized organizations like the Friends of the Nazi Party were the addressees of lost letters in another experiment performed by this man.
Another
Who
very,
was
very,
this
very
man?
bell being rung here.
Okay. In his best-known experiment, this man pretended to randomly assign the teacher role to participants who tested learners on their memorization of word pairs. Who did this?
Can't remember his name.
Yeah. I think you know who it is, but you just can't remember the name, right?
Correct. It's there somewhere, but it's been too long ago.
Yeah. In what experiment? In that experiment, 65% of participants tried to administer 450-volt shocks. Not Nikola Tesla. Not Pavlov. No.
No, Pavlov was cruel to his dogs. No, and Tesla was just. Yeah, we won't talk about the pigeon.
I think his shocks were a lot higher than that.
I think they were. Yeah. 450 volts isn't. Yeah.
Not Skinner. No.
Skiller.
Name this psychologist who conducted the obedience to authority experiment.
Just can't remember his name.
Yeah. Okay. Not Rorschach charts. No.
I'm thinking it was that guy. If I can spell his name.
Wait
Oh, it
for
wasn't
your
the
answer
one-
then, Terry.
It wasn't the one
Not
where
John
they.
Holmes.
Oh no, I won't say right now.
Not Freud. No.
That's the clip I can remember.
Not Nathan Oakley. No.
I have no clue.
Ah, yes. Jez has got it right. It's Milgram. Stanley
it's not-
Milgram.
Not that
Does
person.
that ring a
then.
bell now? No. Yeah, Stanley Milgram was the correct answer. Well done, Jezza.
I'd never remembered that.
I don't even know who he is. No clue.
I was trying to think of the one that did those ink blot things.
That's Rorschach.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, question 6. This property is possessed by the order of every dihedral group D sub n.
No, what was the answer to the last question? I didn't get that.
Stanley Milgram was the person.
And who?
He was the one that got...
No, who got it out in the peanut? I didn't see who.
Oh, Jezza.
Yeah, Jezza got it.
D sub in. That sounds like a rap group.
Yeah. Numbers with this property are not tripled and incremented in the procedure described in the Collatz conjecture.
Now, see, the Collatz Conjecture sounds like the sort of book that has one of those raised and embossed covers that you see people reading on the beach, you know. Usually about spies or something, the Collatz Conjecture.
I could tell you about the Collatz conjecture, but that would give away the answer.
I've never heard of it.
I'll tell you after we get do it.
It's a Robert Harris novel, or possibly a Tom Clancy.
It's not a novel.
I know. But that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
The
It's a
Eiger sanction,
mathematical thing.
the Collatz Conjecture.
Yeah. A graph has an Eulerian circuit if and only if all its vertices degrees have this property.
Fleetwood Mac.
Not counter space compressibility, no. The hypothesis that all but one of the numbers with this property can be expressed as the sum of two primes is known as the strong Goldback conjecture.
Oh, we've had an apology in Discord from ML2. Sorry, I ultimately fell asleep.
That's fine.
That's a pretty good excuse for not being here.
Yeah. 60 degrees right angles.
Okay, who let the South African in?
Yeah. All known perfect numbers have this property. Functions with this property, such as cosine, are symmetric by reflection over the y-axis. Okay, last clue. Name this property that describes numbers divisible by 2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm not even going to write that down.
Yeah, because you know what it is now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is even numbers. Well done to John Rapp, who got it out in the peanuts. The Collatz conjecture is a little sort of thought experiment or a little exercise where you start with a starting number, farmers, and if it's even, you halve it. All right?
Right.
And if that result of that is even, you halve it again, and you keep on doing that if it's even. But if it's odd, you triple it and add 1. So an example of that would be, 8, and then you go down to 4, then you go down to 2, and then you go down to 1, and it stops there.
Yeah.
Okay? When you get to 1. But if you choose something like 9, well, you can't halve it, so you've got to triple it, 27, and then add 1 to get 28, and then you halve it to 14, halve that to 7, and then because that's odd, you've got to triple it, 21, goes up to 22. Then you halve that, 11, and then you got to triple that, and that means you get to 34, and then you keep on doing that. And you see, do all numbers eventually go down to 1 or not? That's the Collatz conjecture.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
well, Dora said evenness. That's close enough.
Yeah,
so I think she got it first.
Yeah, yep.
Well, John Rapp said evenness as well.
And it turns out that some numbers proceed to 1 a lot quicker than other numbers obviously do. And there's also another variation on that instead of tripling it and adding one, you can triple it and subtract one. And I think in that case, I can't remember which case it is, whether it's adding one or subtracting one, you get some numbers that form loops that just go round and round and round and round and never get to one.
Oh, right.
Okay, question 7. One character played by this person plays the ukulele as a member of Sweet Sue's band in one film. Who is this person? Flow Runner, half ability for the previous question.
No, Dora, that was Matt, not me.
What? What have I done? What have I done now?
This person plays a character who is seduced by a cross-dressing man who pretends to own a yacht and claims to be Shell Oil Jr.
Ooh, that rings. Oh, it's another one of these. Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's not John Wayne and it's not Tiny Tim. This person plays Sugar Cane alongside a Tony Curtis played saxophonist in a Billy Wilder film. Who is it?
Don't think these are my sort of films.
Okay. While playing Laura Lee in one film, this person wore a pink dress and sang a rendition of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Gotta be.
It does have to be that.
Does have to be really with that one, doesn't it? Yes.
It does have to be that one, and I think Jim Clow got it first out in the Peanuts. Well done. It is Marilyn Monroe, yeah. In one film, this actress wears a white dress that flutters upward as she walks over a subway grate. You would have got it from that.
That would have got it from that, yeah.
Yeah. Name this legendary actress who starred in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot. It was, of course, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Sorry.
No singing, no singing.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Sorry, carry on.
Question 8. In February 2020, True TV premiered a trivia game show themed around this activity that takes place in the Pepperdome.
Pepperdome. Anything like the Thunderdome?
Pepperdome, yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
What is this activity?
Pepperdome.
What's the Pepperdome?
Pepperdome, like cooking.
Yeah.
True TV premiered a trivia game show themed around this activity, what takes place in the Pepperdome. Don't think I ever watched True TV, to be honest with you.
No,
What is
either
True
have I.
TV?
Not in 2020 anyway.
It sounds like one of those conspiracy TV shows, doesn't it? Like Gaia.
Products such as Da Bomb, Beyond Insanity, and Mad Dog 357 are mainstays in another show about this activity.
That bomb, Mad Dog 357. It sounds like brands of craft beer, doesn't it? Mad Dog 357 and Da Bomb. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
A Hall of Shame for celebrities who failed to complete this activity includes Shaquille O'Neal, who broke his promise not to make a face while doing this activity. Peanuts are kind of right, but not quite.
Kind of right, but not quite.
Yeah. Participants in this activity are encouraged to engage in the last dab, in which they apply an extra drop of a sauce whose Scoville rating is over 2 million.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. My second answer is the one.
Yeah, same thing, Matt. You're
Oh.
onto the right track, but that's not quite the correct answer.
Oh, okay.
But the correct answer has been given now out in the chat. It is by Colin, who said, not Colin, by Stellarium, Celestia, eating hot wings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, describe this activity central to Sean Evans' YouTube interview series, Hot Ones. It is eating hot chicken wings. Yeah.
No, I've not seen it, and I've never seen
No,
it.
I was completely unaware of that.
No, neither have I. That was a completely obscure one there, Paul.
Yeah. I mean, a Scoville rating of 2 million. That's pretty damned hot.
That is hot.
I like
familiar with the Scoville rating, but usually
yeah.
that's to do with
yeah,
chili sauces and things. You know,
Yes.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
hot
yeah.
chilies and that sort of thing.
I like Man versus Food. I've seen that many times. He does hot stuff occasionally from time to time.
Question 9. They aren't squares, but the only magic types of these shapes are the trivial first order one and a unique third order arrangement.
Oh, good. My assistant's here to help me.
What are these shapes?
Oh, Squeak arrived, does she?
Yep, Squeak's arrived.
Yeah.
Come on, then. Up you, look. If you want to come up. Oh.
Squeak. There's Squeak.
Yeah, type the answer in for me, Squeak.
Pascal's theorem in projective geometry states that when this shape is inscribed in any conic section, the intersection of the extension of the opposite sides are collinear.
Jeez.
I had fun getting that clue.
Bloody hell, yeah.
I bet you did.
So I'll give you another one nice and quick. This is the shape with the most edges that can be made from taking a cross section of a cube. So what's the shape with the most edges that you can get by cutting a plane through a cube?
Is it flat? Joking.
There is a flat cross section, yeah.
Must be flat.
Yeah. Like if you cut horizontal, I mean it's horizontal, you get a square, right? If you cut
horizontal.
Yeah, if you cut at an angle but don't slice the top of the bottom, you get a rectangle. If you cut a corner off, you get a triangle. But what's the shape with the most amount of sides that you can get by cutting through a cube? It's not a triangle, it's not a trapeze, it's not a pyramid. Besides squares and equilateral triangles, this is the only shape whose regular form can tile the plane. In other words, it's the only regular shape other than a square and a triangle that you can make tessellations with.
Yeah, the answer's in the chat now.
It is.
Hopefully it's what I'm typing and spelling it right.
That is correct, Farmer's Boy. And I think
Because
Jezza got it first out there.
I had assistance. Thank you.
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Who got it right first out there? It was...
Jim?
No, Jim Clow. Yeah.
Jim.
It was the hexagon. Yeah. The sum of the interior angles of this shape is 720 degrees, and when regular, each of its interior angles is 120 degrees. Name these polygons that have 6 sides. They are, hexagons. And that's how you can cut a cube to get a hexagon.
You can get hexagon printed paper. Much used by in organic chemistry and making maps for D&D.
Yeah. Last question. One famous action by this leader was instigated by a remark from Filipino diplomat Lorenzo Sumalong, criticizing his country.
Oh, this is kind of ringing a very faint
What is
bell.
this famous action?
This kind of rings a bell.
You can ring my bell.
Who was this leader?
See, you set him off with anything.
This is quite a well-known moment in history.
Yeah.
This leader, who was later targeted in a coup by his former mentor, Lazar Kaganovich, and the anti-party group, ascended to power by outmaneuvering Georgy Malenkov. Who was this leader? And what was the famous action for bonus points? Not selling shoes. Not Marcos. No.
No, the
This
Marcos.
leader initiated the failed Virgin Lands campaign in Kazakhstan. It's not Pol Pot or Henry Kissinger. No.
It's not the former Russian leader before Putin, was it? What's his name? No, it's the
Not
action.
Joe Biden.
It's the is it the action we're looking for? The person. That's the person, isn't it?
Person. But if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
give me the action as well, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
This leader is remembered for declaring, "We will bury you," and banging his shoe on the table while giving a speech at the United Nations. There's the action.
That's a very vague.
I can't.
I'm going to try and spell it.
That's correct, Blue.
Remember
Yeah, I
when he
want
did it.
to see your spelling.
Damn it! Too many letters. In
Oh,
there.
my spellings, I don't know how to spell it.
Farmers, that's correct. But
I know
not
the spelling's
correct
abysmal,
spelling.
but I just can't remember how that's spelled.
But I think the most creative spelling was from Flow Rider out there in the Peanuts.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, wrong person.
The first
yeah,
and the
no,
last
yeah.
letters are easy. It's just what happens in between that gets
Yeah,
a
the
bit.
in-between bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, we know who it is now.
Name this successor to Joseph Stalin, who led the Soviet Union during the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is the famous
that's it.
scene.
Yeah, that's
we
it.
will
Yeah.
bury you.
Yeah, that's it. Khrushchev.
Yeah. That was Nikita Khrushchev. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I've just read. I'm just reading about him because I'm reading all about the development of drones by the US.
Okay.
And one of the things that fully pushed them to using them was the Cuban Missile Crisis, because they were overflying Cuba with U-2 spy planes, and the Russians eventually said, "Sod it, we'll shoot one down."
Yeah.
And
think
that
Cuban Missile Crisis-
having already lost France's powers over Russia, when they got one shot down over Cuba, somebody said, "Hang on, why aren't we using unmanned drones instead?"
I think the Cuban Missile Crisis was one of the only few cases where the US military has been at DEFCON 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Hardly surprising.
There you go. That was your quiz.
Nice one.
Quiz.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you like that squeak?
I think I may have got one nearly right.
I got one right by default. Total guess. Educated guess.
Francis Gary Powers was his name. I have the book on the shelf somewhere. Dora. That was when they finally discovered that no, the U-2 spy plane didn't fly so high that it couldn't be shot down because they shot it down.
Yeah. Obviously, it didn't fly too high to be shot down because it was shot down. Yeah.
And then the US, to begin with, denied that it was a manned aircraft. They said, "Oh no, it was an unpiloted drone." And then they said, "Well, obviously, if the pilot made a mistake and he's dead anyway." And then the Russians said, "What? This chap?"
Well, this pilot, yeah, yeah.
And that's what led to, and it is in the film Bridge of Spies, when they eventually the Americans and the Russians did a deal and swapped him for a spy. And that's why they called the bridge of Spies, because that's where they did that with the trade over. That's one of the reasons why they developed the SR-71 Blackbird from the CIA plane, the A-12. Not only did it fly high, it also flew too fast to be shot down.
Oh, that was a
Because
conversation.
by the time they realised it was coming, it was gone. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they couldn't catch up with it, and it just couldn't be shot down.
We don't need spy planes anymore.
Well, they do still use spy planes, but nowadays they tend to be drones. They tend to
Well,
be unmanned.
Well, we got satellite technology and imaging technology now is.
Yeah, but you can't
You
always
have
have
to-
a satellite exactly where and when you need it. That's the problem. Although, yes, they've got
True.
lots of
Not
satellites
at a
over.
given time. No, you have
No.
to wait until quite often the orbit
and
passes
that's-
over the right time.
That's
yeah,
why
fair
you
enough.
they still have reconnaissance aircraft. They have reconnaissance drones because if you need to see something there and then, and the satellite doesn't fly over for another 3 hours, then launch a drone, take some photos.
Now you get a rest from the quizzes on Saturday if Terry's going to stream on Saturday because I will be in Melbourne and I won't be able to
All
stream.
right. And in the side chat, Dora's taking the piss. Thank you very much.
What's he doing?
She's extracting the urine again, is she?
Talking about not tanks, we must remember this day.
Yeah.
All of these books along that shelf aren't about tanks.
Well, all the rest are.
No, most of the books up there aren't about tanks.
So which shelf has got all about tanks then? Which shelf is that?
That one.
Half of that one. So there's actually more shelves about tanks than there isn't. Then basically,
this is not even a third of my library.
Oh God, there's more then. Not even a third.
Yeah, but I suppose of all the reference books, then yeah, but there's aircraft, there's submarines, or more especially U-boats, the Luftwaffe, yeah, but mainly tanks. Yeah.
Oh, Blue did a video. How long ago was that one? 13.
Where's Wally did one today that I haven't watched yet because
I've got
I think he posted it just as we were going live.
Yeah, it doesn't even say how long ago it was put out. Is that the one with the LEO giant walk-up attempt?
Yes, like I say, I think that was posted just as we were going live.
Yeah.
After the 24th of this month, I will go back to making videos again. Yoo-hoo! Can't wait. And because I can't afford to pay for my subscription for my video editing software, I tried some others, but I don't like them. So I'm just going to go back to my my one that I know better. Yeah. So.
What do you use?
Filmora 9. I know it like the back of my hand now, and I can use it very easily. So yeah, I've tried a few others, but didn't like them. Tried DaVinci, but I couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do.
Oh, Blue's got one, but it goes for 22 minutes. We might have to reduce them down a bit.
And I have found a brand new channel dedicated to the moon landing hoax, which is good. So I've got some content that I can use.
God.
Yeah. Well, let's squeak. Squeaker.
Yeah, there's just about room for when I'm not working. When I'm working, all this tends to get covered with paper, and it's like, no, cat, you're not coming up here. There's no room for it.
Yeah, but they like sitting on paper.
She struggles with this desk because it's very smooth. She has no grip.
Is she? Is she getting a bit old? Is she? How old is she?
16.
Oh yeah, that's getting on in years.
It's
sure.
the equivalent of about 80 years for a human.
Yeah. Is she not able to jump high anymore? Or?
No, I think she's got a touch of arthritis. This particular leg she injured some years ago. She had a habit of disappearing for the summer. And after she did it the first time, we were quite used to it. She could disappear for 3 or 4 weeks at a time, just go and live sort of out in the fields. And she'd come back smelling of the hedgerow and of the land in general. And she was an expert mouser. She could cope with it. She could feed herself. And she just bugger off on the summer holiday. And she came back and her leg didn't look right. But whatever she's done to it, she can get a fair turn of speed when she has to. But yeah, she struggles to jump up onto. She can't jump up onto the kitchen counter anymore. She used to be able to.
Yeah, our cat disappeared for about 2 weeks. We thought she'd gone, but she came back smelling of creosote. so she was either shut in a garage or a shed somewhere that had blatting, because you could smell it on her, and she was skinny. She hadn't eaten.
Oh no! This is the first time. I mean, we were going out of our minds trying, asking the neighbours, have you checked the sheds, have you checked the garages? And basically, she just, where we used to live, not here in Silverstone where I'm on my top, but where we used to live in Brackley, we're almost on the edge of the farmland, and she basically she just sod off for 3 or 4 weeks and just sort of live wild. So
go back to her own hunting grounds.
She was always an expert at catching mice and birds, and she just came back one day. And we were like, oh, well, she's still in. She was like, what's the fuss about? Well, I've been on holiday, and you could smell the countryside on her. She smelled the sort of fields and hedgerows, and it was just like nothing had ever happened. And then the next summer, when she disappeared, just like, oh, Squeak's gone on the holiday again. And a few weeks later, she'd come back. But so I think she's getting a bit old for that now. And she can't really do that around here. We're in the middle of the village. She can't just sort of disappear off to the fields. I think she's quite content just to spend her days sitting here, sleeping, being a nuisance.
Squeaking at you for food, that kind of stuff.
Well, no, not even for food, because they've always got food down in the kitchen. There's always food and water.
There's always biscuits, yeah.
Yeah, well, they've only ever had dry food. That has been their diet.
Oh right, okay, yeah. We have dry food down all the time, but they always ask for wet food.
Oh, they get treats, and sometimes they'll get a half a tin of tuna each or something. But
yeah, my brother's got 2 cats, and he tried that food on demand sort of like business with having a bowl there. But all his cats would do is just eat the whole damn lot and then vomit 3/4 of it up.
No.
Cats on dry food diet, they do have a tendency to vomit sometimes. I mean, this one doesn't. Her sister does sometimes, but I think she has a gut. So you'll see her eating, and it's like she's eating for a country, and then she walk away and go, "Oh, that was too much."
It's there. They've got to eat it.
But but by and large, no, I can fill that bowl up and not have to top it up again for a couple of days. They've got quite used to it now. If they're hungry, they can eat, but they don't tend to overdo it.
Yeah.
There you go. You're happy now, aren't you? Leaving bits of yourself all over the desk.
Yeah, when I clean out my keyboard, it's mostly cat fur. There's a few crumbs, but not many.
No, they do just both of them just permanently shed all year round.
Oh, do they all year round now? We usually get it. We only usually get it for springtime, and it's heading that way now. So they'll start to mob a little bit.
I have to decap my bed every now and then, particularly if I've done the washing.
Too right.
And you bring it through into your bedroom and you fold your clothes out on your bed.
Yeah.
Before I do that, I have to go over that with my little handheld Dyson that's got a spinny head to clean all the cat fur off it, because otherwise you're just folding clothes up covered in cat hair.
Yeah.
And because of her colours, you can't really see it. I mean, the other one, the black one, of course, you can see that everywhere. But this stuff,
yeah, she's quite light. She's quite light, isn't she?
Yes.
Quite light colours.
Yeah, you don't realise it. It. Bloody stuff gets everywhere. But
yeah, sure does.
I wouldn't be without them. It's not that I could get rid of them. I mean, they're sisters and they hate each other, so. That's why this one's the upstairs cat and her sister's the downstairs cat.
What are you
was I talking to myself again?
Hey, Terry, you're on mute.
Yeah, now I know. I thought, okay, keep going with your conversation.
What, whilst you're getting things sorted out?
Yeah, I was getting things sorted out and I didn't realise I was on mute.
Look, see, you're on famous.
Yeah, hello and welcome to Terry's Cat Forum. Yes, Zebulon. Could have been a catastrophe.
We get a new batch of Harvard students on Monday.
Oh, yeah. How much room do you want, Cat?
Well, if I add up what we've already done before and what we've done now, and what time it is. Yeah. Things don't go according to plan.
No.
Who says I have a plan?
Plan? What plan?
Plan?
There's a plan.
Is it a cunning plan?
Is any more cunning, you could put a tail on it and call it a fox.
Okay, what do we got here? We've got Mr. Wally with a quickie. We've got Mr. Simoni.
Oh, John Rapp's off to bed.
That one.
Not John.
You can't wait. Okay, you need my 4 hours recharging. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see CC was very brave and he challenged Simon down to a debate? Did you see
really?
that? Yeah, and apparently he's been asking for months and he won't debate him. But strangely enough, he's never asked anybody else for a debate. He's only asked the person that has consistently said he would never debate.
Yeah,
Strange,
Simon
that,
has
isn't it?
always said he will never debate anybody in the shape of the earth because it's not open to debate.
Yeah, so that way, of course, he knows that Simon's now going to accept the debate because he isn't going to debate, you stupid twat.
It's like these other silly buggers. Did you see Brian's Logic said to somebody, "Oh yes, I'll debate you, but you've got to pay me €5,000."
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a couple of others that are falling into that. Rachie, I think, as well. Flatsoid are doing the same thing now. It's just a cop out.
Yeah, what it basically means is, tell me you won't debate anybody without actually saying you won't debate anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like Mitchell
Tell
from
them
Australia.
that you've got to pay them thousands of pounds or euros or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous.
For a 2-hour debate. Yeah.
Mitchell from
That's
Australia.
not as funny as what. That's not as funny as what Grim did in Gem's server the other day.
Oh,
What did he do?
He challenged Gem to a fist fight, but on the condition that Gem first go across to America and sign a contract with him.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, all right, that's going to happen.
Ever heard anything so ridiculous? It's bad enough that people threaten people across the internet, particularly when they're on the other side of the world, and then to say, "Well, come on, then actually come over."
Yeah.
And I'll fight you.
There's a few of them out there that are on the forums that threaten and all that, but get them face to face. What would happen?
Yeah, I'll punch you in the head, but you've got to come across here and go and sign a contract with me first. You're right.
Wow.
That's pretty special.
Yes, but not in the way that they think it's special.
No, that's right. Yeah.
You're right, still there, and we have a naked person.
Oh, we've got a naked person.
Yes.
Where? Oh.
Where?
Side chat. Chris Katsolis. Hello, Chris.
See.
I don't think I know it. Do I know? Yeah. Chris with his Chris. Yeah.
We know a Chris, but not that Chris.
Not that Chris. Not from Westchester County, whatever.
Westchester County in
Worcestershire.
Is it New York?
Yeah, apparently.
So are we ready?
We are.
Born ready.
Born ready. Why was the message deleted? What was happening this time?
Oh, I don't know.
He just said go to bed, Mippet.
Yeah, I think Mippet's going.
Yeah, but Chris got deleted or something. Jinx you. Hello every. I think it was supposed to be one or hun.
Jinx said, "Oops, wrong socks." What?
What?
Is that your fault, Squeak? Could you turn the pages over too quick? Have we skipped a chapter or something?
Don't know. Don't know if they're new or old. They got deleted or timed out? I don't know how that works.
No, apparently you got the wrong account. Who are you trying to delete anyway, Jin? Who?
Yeah. Who are you targeting?
Ah, it's Jinx, but came in on the wrong account.
Oh, it is Jinx. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's why Jinx deleted it, because it was Jinx.
Ah, Jinx deleted themselves.
Oh,
Jin deleted fake Jin, apparently.
well, not fake Jin.
I don't know what's going on.
Just other
I'm confused. Just other Jin.
Oh well, I'm
confused.
gonna have to take the spanner back off them then. They lost their spanner.
You're not allowed to commit suicide. No suicides in the chat, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Real Jin came in as a sock Jin. So Real Jin then came in as Real Jin and deleted message from sock Jin.
Not allowed to off yourself in the chat, folks. Don't do that.
Now, I trust that was crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Don't ask me to repeat it.
like mud.
Oh,
First play.
Okay. Where are we?
Wally.
Okay, I'm going to play the clip in its entirety. It's only a short clip, and then I
No.
can come back and break it down. Things to look out for. One, pay particular attention to the fact the light source, the sun, never moves. Never moves despite the fact the space station's orientation around globe Earth changes on screen right before our eyes. The sun never moves despite those so-called changes of orientation of the space station.
Well, yes, you guessed it. It's time to do some old school debunking. And yes, we're gonna jump on board with Adam, the doofus himself. Hello everybody, where's Wally here? Let's have some fun.
And because the sun never moves...
Oh, it's moving all right. Just not the way you think, Adam, old boy.
We get no shadows moving whatsoever on the stationary items like the rocket nozzles, for example, under the satellite dish here. And what makes it even worse is halfway through this, see if you can spot it, we get to see a clip of the Earth seemingly moving in two different directions at once.
Two different directions at once? Well, that would be an earth-tearingly awesome thing to see. So, watch bottom left, you'll see the Earth moving left to right, and you can't see the Earth at the top right. And Adam is right, the shadow of the rocket nozzles is staying at the same angle, thus indicating the angle to the sun is not changing. Now notice that the Earth is appearing at the right, and the angle to the Earth is changing. I hope you're all seeing that image stitch line right there. Adam seems to have missed it. So what is happening here? Well, Adam is being an idiot. Also, this is the Chinese space station and not the ISS. Adam, there is one key difference. The International Space Station has 2 degrees of freedom on their solar panel array, meaning that the body of the ISS is always parallel to the curved surface of the Earth. Yeah, you heard me, I said parallel curved surface of the Earth. The CSS, however, has the solar array just sticking out the side. They have only 1 degree of freedom, so to track the sun properly, they get the 2nd degree of freedom by rolling the CSS, i.e. tracking the sun. So, because the body of the CSS points to the sun and not the Earth, unlike the ISS, these shadows do not change. Whoopsies, Adam. You didn't think of that, did you?
First of all, I blended an image from the start of the video to an image at the end of the video where the Chinese space station's orientation around globe Earth has changed, as we can see. But strangely enough, the light source is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
And that's exactly what we should see.
Despite the so-called change of orientation of the Chinese space station. The fact even the rays are exactly the same proves
proves that Adam has no idea of what's actually going on? I think so.
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on. And then when I zoom in on this clip, top right, I've got the Earth seemingly going away from us. Then I look bottom left, I've got the Earth seemingly coming from our left to our right. Strange. So top right, the Earth seemingly going away from us. Bottom left, the Earth's coming from our left to our right. So to summarise, Adam, you're a doofus. Now what you're seeing is due to the CSS having a 360 pano camera on the external views, the blend line. Adam, this is particularly bad for you as you know this already. Remember the video you took down in record time in about 6 hours? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Same deal. Let's have a look at Adam's last video he did on this subject where he realised it was a 360 camera and he had to take it down.
All you're interested in here is Matey Boy's head when he gets up close and personal. Just watch his head as it disappears, it morphs, it bends, it overlaps. Great stuff. Take it away, me old mate. Oops. I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
Now my new little buddy mate Mike Jones, he loves this video by Leo. I was just as amazed as you. Adam was used as a subject matter expert by anybody. Maybe, just for fun, can anybody with the ability and the desire to do so just pop into Next Level Server and let @Mike Jones know Adam has zero idea about how anything works in space, and the lighting on the Chinese space station is perfect. If you want to know more, ask Wally, if you can find him. That should put the cat amongst the pigeons. Or the wolf pack amongst the turkeys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that Leo.
Another one where they don't know how optics work.
Don't know how anything works. Let's be honest. That's an unfortunate.
We'll leave Blues Brian's logic one last.
Oh yes, that. Oh yeah, blimey.
Hey, no spoilers.
I'm gonna leave a mark. I'm telling you.
I haven't seen that one yet.
On Friday, but he has now released such a poor moon landing video, I simply had to take a look at it. He claims that there are 7 easy ways to tell we didn't go to the moon. Dear oh dear.
7, wow.
Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Right, back to today's video where Jaren is once again trying to convince everyone that we didn't go to the moon. Now, I realise that this specific conspiracy theory is one that is quite widely believed. So I realise I'm going to have my work cut out here. So without further ado, let's crack on with it, shall we?
India tried to land on the moon today, failed. So not sure if you guys got a chance to see that funny video. If you watch it, again, as with my videos, all the links to all the things that I discuss, the videos I show, all that will be in the description following the live stream. Give it a few minutes. It has to, of course, upload and render and all that processing, whatever else they do. Make sure that I don't say anything wrong. Make sure I don't say the double F word, things like that. So once they do that and they put the video up, then I go in and I add all the links. So yeah, so this is the final shot that they had. You got everybody here just looking around. What's going on? What happened?
Now, while this was a failure of sorts, India still did land a craft on the moon. Now, of course, it's what's known as a hard landing because the braking thrusters failed during the descent stage.
But again, they couldn't land their craft at the south pole of the moon. Now, do remember, there was no humans in it. It's just a craft that they sent to the moon to land there. But the United States did it 50 years ago. Quite easily. They even had people in the craft. In fact, they got there, they got out, they put out all kinds of test equipment that send back data to the Earth, seismographs and solar arrays and retroreflectors, and they played golf and they drove around in a moon buggy and did jumps and twists and turns, all that fun stuff in 1969.
Actually, the moon buggy didn't go up till 1971 in Apollo 15. However, your point is not a valid one. When the US went to the moon in 1969, the NASA's budget was $4 billion. In 1969. That's the equivalent of around $30 billion today. The India Space Agency's budget last year was only $2 billion. That's why the US did it in 1969.
With ridiculous technology, and we're going to look at something funny in that regard as well. But yeah, if you watch this, this is the final screen. They just got to this point and said, oh, we don't have any more data. And then these guys congratulated themselves, and everybody was sad because India did not pull it off, much like Israel tried to do, a few months back, also failed.
Yes, failed the mission, but they still have a craft on the moon. Some flat earthers don't even think that the moon is a solid object, so,
this stuff just goes on and on. People still want to believe it. And again, here's the thing, I say it all the time, if you want to believe this stuff, you can go right ahead. You shouldn't be watching this video so much if you want to believe in this stuff, because I certainly don't believe it. And on this channel, what I do is I give you my opinion of these events, and if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to be here.
We don't know, but it's very amusing watching someone fail so hard. And of course, we like to stop others from falling for your beliefs.
That's something that I always have to mention, because I'm afraid people think this is like mandatory viewing or something, because they love to get on here and give me thumbs down and lace the comments with their nonsense. And if that's you, what are you doing here? That's my question. So yeah, that's the number one item on Space News today, is that these guys could not complete the mission, even though the United States, they sent people there easily 50 years ago.
I would argue that it wasn't easy at all, Jaren.
But India, a fail. In related news, I don't know if you saw this, it's hilarious. Hewlett-Packard, and this is on the Hewlett-Packard website here, is building a new supercomputer to support future human mission to the moon, because they did it on Game Boy level technology in 1969, but today you need the supercomputer.
Now, I don't think they need a supercomputer to make the mission a success, but if it helps with the mission, then why not? We need to use the technology we have to make these missions as easy as we possibly can.
Because technology has grown and things have gotten easier and cheaper, so now you need a supercomputer to do what you did so easily with some nonsense equipment back 50 years ago. So this is August 22nd, a press release basically saying that a new supercomputer at NASA's Ames Research Center will run modeling and simulation workloads for the lunar landings. Thank you very much, HP, for providing this. And this is what I mean when I say that NASA is a jobs program. It just creates jobs for other companies, things for other companies to do and to try and get better and to try to improve. That's NASA's goal. It's actually not to physically go anywhere. It's all a ruse. Again, believe it if you want. I'm somebody who simply does not.
But NASA and its operations isn't a question of belief. You can see the missions that they do. It's all verifiable.
So if we want to watch something funny, which I do, let's watch this. And this is from a YouTuber named Mountain Bear. If you ever watch Owen Benjamin, then you've definitely already seen this video. It's set to South Park animations, but includes Don Pettit talking and then Gene Kranz. But it also then has Neil Armstrong talking about the kind of technology that got them to the moon 50 years ago. And then when you weigh that in with the space news from today that we just talked about, that HP needs to build a supercomputer for them to get there, India crashing, all this fun stuff, it becomes quite comical. Enjoy this. It's pretty funny.
This should be interesting.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Again, that was Don Pettit, who I think Owen Benjamin said it best the other day, who sounds like he got kicked in the head by a donkey, which is very true.
And what has that got to do with anything? I could say that you sound like you've got a straw stuck up each nostril, but I don't, because it doesn't matter. We base our opinions on what you say, not how you sound when you say it.
Let's continue. We're now going to listen to Neil Armstrong tell us about the technology. It's just pretty funny to hear this guy talk and to see it animated South Park style. Here we go.
Apollo computer had 32K of fixed memory and 2K of erasable. That was it. No screen, no sound, no icons, no nothing. Just and the keyboard just had it had 0 through 10, read, clear, and enter. No graphics, no screen, no. On its best days, it couldn't get to 1 megahertz.
Wow.
So it was slow and weak, but it got us there.
But it got us there.
I don't understand the argument here. What do they want? A computer that is faster than all they could create back in 1969? Now, if Jaron is making this video 2 weeks after the event, then of course he may have a point.
Yeah, it got you there, but now we need HP to build a brand new supercomputer to send to Ames Research Center so that we can get there again 50 years later. If this makes sense to anyone, good luck in your future endeavors. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I make these videos.
Did you not read the article about HP? So the supercomputer isn't the computer that will get them to the moon. It said it would help with modelling and simulating workloads. And back in 1969, I assume they would have done all that sort of stuff with their brains.
So let's continue. We now have Gene Kranz.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence. And as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
Right. We've been unable to track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
NASA admitted that it had lost the original footage of man's first steps on the moon.
The most heralded, most famous accomplishment of mankind, of humans, the landing on the moon. NASA lost everything. They're claiming there's nothing in their archives, nothing in storage, nothing in a cardboard box someplace that has anything to do with the Apollo missions. It's all gone.
And that's clearly not true, because there are photos and videos and other information. It's not all gone.
And what people fail to realize, and I have to always bring this up, one thing I used to believe and I no longer believe, I used to think like eventually this would come out, eventually it would be admitted that we didn't go to the moon. And now I've changed my perspective on that. I now realize that they can never admit, NASA or the American government can never admit that we didn't go to the moon. There's too many implications. There's too much that relies on this whole idea that, conspiracies can never be kept under wraps, that all lies would get out, that you could never hold that kind of information, that you have too many people that know, even though, barely anybody needed to know what was going on. And let's look at that real quick, just what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, please do, because it made no sense whatsoever.
We're going to be looking at a quote by Gene Kranz, who was in that video. Gene Kranz said in his book, Failure is Not an Option, he said, in the late 1960s, our simulation technology had progressed to the point where it became virtually impossible to separate the training from actual missions. These simulations became full dress rehearsals for the missions down to the smallest detail. The simulation tested out the crew and controllers' responses to normal and emergency conditions. It checked out the exact flight plan, mission rules, and procedures that the crew and controllers would use for a later flight. In an interview, he later said, the simulations were so real that no controller could discern the difference between the training and the real mission.
But surely that speaks very highly of the simulations that NASA ran back then.
So this just puts to bed all the nonsense of people saying, "Oh, there's too many people that would have to be involved, and when they would admit it, they would come out as it was being faked." No, barely anybody needed to know, because everyone's sitting at those controller stations, everyone's sitting at the mission control, could have been fed just false data. Basically simulation data.
You know what? I absolutely cannot argue this point. They really could have. There's no way to know. Now, if this was the only piece of evidence to say that NASA went to the moon, then you may have a point, but unfortunately, it's not.
Very easy, right? When the entire universe, and I've talked about this numerous times, is simply a massive supercomputer You can send satellites into it. You can send probes. You can go to asteroids, whatever you want. You're doing it in a simulated environment and just passing that off as real. And the people sitting at the controller stations would have no clue, especially because there's no video cameras on any of this stuff. You know, go back and look at the India landing today. You're telling me we don't have the technology to put a video camera on the craft as it's heading towards the moon, as it's falling down towards the moon? You can't have a live video feed? What year is this?
2022, and actually the India Lunar Orbiter did have a camera on board and it took many photos.
What year is this? Give me a frickin' break. I mean, this is basically what these people were looking at. Is this screen? How hard is this to make? Well, this is how far it is in horizontal velocity. This is vertical velocity. This is downrange. It's all simulation data. None of the people at the computers would have any idea. And even if you go back and try and find the views, let me see if I can find one. It might take me a second. Didn't have this set up. But if you look at what these guys are actually looking at on the screens, it's just simulated data. Here we go. None of it is actual video. You can see over here. You can see here. This is a little craft here. You got this little graph.
Amazing. There's actually images up on the screen and Jaren is saying that there isn't. You can't make it up, can you? Well, there we go. Another Tinfoil Tuesday, all wrapped up in a tight lunar module shaped package. Poor old Jaren and his personal incredulity didn't come out very well there, did it? A huge thank you for watching today. It really is appreciated. Honestly, it is. If you really did enjoy it, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We're very close now to 500,000 subscribers. Would love to get there by summer. And if you really enjoyed it, then please hit the like button as well. Just enough time to once again thank CuriosityStream for sponsoring today's video. Remember, click the link in the description and use my code SimonDan to get CuriosityStream for just $14.99 for the entire year. I have been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you on Friday for Flat Earth Fail compilation 33. See you then.
33.
33, yeah.
Illuminati confirmed.
Ah, that brings
Something
up
I
so
don't-
many questions, or not questions, but in that.
33. Treble 11.
Hey, this is what happens if you leave a zucchini on a bush a little bit too long.
Blimey.
No, it can hang itself.
What a monster.
Yeah, I know. I've got about 6 of them like that. I think I'm going to have to make some zucchini relish.
Looks like it, yeah.
Somebody out there's going to say, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Who misses? And my parents used to have a
6
huge
o'clock in the
greenhouse.
morning.
And they just kept growing melons. And as kids, we'd have dinner. I'd say, "What's for afters?" "It's melon." "Oh, not again." We're sick of the sight of bloody melon.
Okay, where's 6 o'clock in the morning right now? Okay. That'll have to be East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, West
I got
Coast.
a
No,
little
not
tolerance
West
for these idiots like Jaron.
What's that?
They really should have been alive in 1969 to witness the stuff that I saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think they'd be thinking the way they think.
No.
I think they forget that people were actually there to, watch these things launch, and the people who built them, and the thousands and thousands of people involved. Where, of course, they're just on about the simulators that they used in places like Mission Control. All that.
What?
Excuse me.
I don't understand the complaint. They're only seeing a simulation. So you put a video up there. How do you know that's not a damn simulation? I mean, how would you know?
Like, as far as them being in the mission control with the data that was getting fed in, yeah, that's where Simon agreed. Yeah, there could be a questionable area in that, but that's all the other stuff that you add to it.
Yeah, but that simulation, that real data is coming down on a downlink, and lots of people were able to receive that.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's really, really hard to simulate. A radio source out there in the middle of space somewhere. It's hard to fake that. In fact, I've yet to come up with a good idea about how you do it.
You could do it, yeah.
I know. You could send something out into space to beam a radio signal back.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant a satellite back in 1969?
That's the problem.
Okay.
In order to simulate it, you got to actually do it.
And even the what was he saying about the computer power back in '69? What was he comparing it to? A little one of those little Game Boy things or something. I think they were more powerful.
Yeah.
You got to remember that in 1969, you were still probably 3 years away from the introduction of the first pocket calculator.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The hottest, fastest, big time computer on the block was the IBM 365, I think. We had a pair of them at the utility company I worked for. They had huge memories, 470K.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
470K.
Yeah.
Disk storage were these gigantic round packages of disks that went in machines about the size of a damn washing machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And probably stored, Jesus, a tiny, tiny fraction of what you can get on an SD card. Damn, I got a camera with 128 gig SD card in it.
Yeah, I remember the 360K floppy disks where you could have your operating system, your word processing program, and your data all on the same disk.
Yep.
I've seen on a meme on one of the forums there. There was a picture of a disc, and somebody commented on it. Oh, did you 3D a save icon? You don't get it?
I didn't quite hear you, Terry.
Ah. I don't know what's going on here. I've seen on one of the forums somebody posted a meme with the disc, with the mini discs.
Yeah.
And somebody commented on it. Oh, did you 3D print a save icon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get in games they had the little disc as the save icon in the game.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what it was. You're back, Farmer.
I've had
Yeah, a phone call about a potential job, but
I had to repeat something just then because they couldn't hear me.
I've had kids ask me, what do you do with these big black CDs?
No, the little one it was.
what the big black ones that are something like
Yeah,
that?
the big black CDs. Where do you put them in? You know. Yeah.
They fit in a record player.
Yeah, those ones. Yeah.
Isn't there one where the girl tried to put a CD in one of them, but the needle kept sliding off?
Oh dear. You ought to stick them in front of an old-fashioned telephone then. Watch them try to figure that out.
Yeah, what's this round thing on it with numbers going in a circle?
You have to put your finger in the right hole and turn it around. I remember being impressed when we got new telephones at home and they'd got buttons.
Wow! You just got to press something.
Yeah, our phone's got buttons. Yeah.
Like the old gentleman who rang up and complained about his computer because he said it kept on telling him he was corrupt and invalid. He was corrupt and an
invalid. Yeah.
I'm not an invalid. I can still walk. Oh dear.
And the bloke that couldn't understand why he couldn't send a fax with his computer.
Yeah,
and
why?
He was literally holding the piece of paper up against the screen.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. It's not working.
Yeah.
That's as bad as the blonde jokes with why a monitor's got all white out all over it. Oh.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, we'll finish off with this big blue guy. I mean, the guy's not blue, he's just named blue.
He's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not blue.
Well,
no.
But then he'd be a Smurf then, wouldn't he? Aren't Smurfs blue?
Yes, Smurfs are blue.
Yes,
and blue is definitely not a Smurf.
So we can't call him Big Blue
No, not a
Smurf.
I wouldn't.
I can, he's not going to come over here.
Press play, Terry.
Quick, before you dig a deeper
Oh,
hole.
yeah. You never know. You never know. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Blue Marble Science. You want to hear the worst explanation of how airplanes fly? I mean, ever?
Ever?
Well, Brian's
Okay.
logic has it for you. Hey, warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out those oven mitts. I'm not kidding. Push the monitors way back out of punching range. And let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
Well, how are you doing? This video is going to be about aircraft pitch. I have made videos on this in the past to do with the chord line and angle of attack. This is going to be a slightly more fuller version with some extras in it, and there will be a good bit of reading, but also some diagrams in between. And I hope, I know that this will inform a lot of people. Okay, let's get stuck into it. So we don't have too long of a video. Okay, aircraft pitch. The pitch of an aircraft, also known as its angle of attack, is determined by its airspeed.
Brian, you're one sentence into your presentation and you've already got this screwed up. Angle of attack and pitch angle are not the same things. Here's a publication from a little company in the U.S. Maybe you've heard of them. Their name is Boeing. They build airplanes. Let's look at these first two paragraphs here. Angle of attack is the angle between the oncoming air or the relative wind and a reference line on the airplane or wing. Relative wind is just pilot speak for the direction the airplane is traveling. There's the angle of attack, and it's irrespective of the pitch angle. The angle of attack of the wing, along with the airspeed, is going to determine how much lift the wing is producing. Now look at the second paragraph. Angle of attack is sometimes confused with pitch angle or flight path angle. Pitch angle, which is attitude, is the angle between the longitudinal axis where the airplane is pointed and the horizon. This angle is displayed on the attitude indicator or artificial horizon. There's the pitch angle. Brian, what in the name of Zeus's butthole made you think those two things were the same?
What I mean by this is that the airspeed of an airplane will determine the correct pitch to hold that airplane at. So any reasonable change in airspeed will result in a change in pitch. Explanation. An airplane at takeoff creates lift due to two things. The first is thrust, which causes a downforce on the tail of the aircraft, and the second is manipulation of the elevators at the tail, adding to this downforce being created by the thrust.
You got a lot wrong in a couple of sentences there, Brian.
Oh my God.
Airspeed does not control pitch. You've got this exactly backwards. Pitch actually controls airspeed. There's a relationship between pitch and power that we'll get into, but airspeed is not controlling anything. We're controlling the airspeed. And this was unbelievable. Brian, thrust does not cause lift. The wing does that based on the angle of attack and some other factors we'll talk about. Airflow over the control surfaces at the tail of the plane and their position is what generates a downforce on the tail of the airplane. It's not thrust, Brian. Thrust has nothing to do with that. I really don't think you should be talking about this stuff.
This results in a change of pressure just above and below the leading edge of the wings, with positive pressure being created just under the first quarter of the leading edge of the airfoil's wings. This positive pressure pushes the leading edge of the wings upwards, as this positive pressure is trying to equalize with the negative pressure above it. As the positive pressure is high pressure and the negative pressure is low pressure, and as we know, high pressure will always flow to low pressure.
What?
This is what creates the lift effect in an aircraft, as the leading edge of the wings are being tilted upwards, pitched up. This is officially described as the chord line of the wings being pitched above horizontal.
Brian's description of lift is wrong. It's not high pressure trying to go to low pressure. Brian's learned just enough physics to be dangerous. Lift is caused by the redirection of airflow. Airflow on the underside of the wing is being pushed down. That results in an opposite force pushing the wing up. Likewise, airflow across the top of the wing is pulling air down, and again the opposite force is a force pushing the wing up. Now this is true as long as the airflow on top of the wing remains attached to the wing. If we exceed the critical angle of attack of the wing, that airflow across the top of the wing will separate and we'll lose lift from the top surface. That's what we call a stall.
The chord line is an imaginary line that runs through the center of the wings and is used as a benchmark for the aircraft's pitch-lift relationship. When the chord line is pitched above horizontal, this is described as positive lift.
Brian's going to get this wrong all the way through his video. A wing produces lift when the wing presents a positive angle of attack, and angle of attack is the angle between the chord line of the wing and the relative wind. That's the direction the airplane is traveling in, not the horizontal. So every time you hear Brian say horizontal, just know that what he's really trying to say is relative wind.
When it is pitched below horizontal, this is described as negative lift as a basic. Some wings act differently than others though, as a cambered wing will still hold more positive than negative lift when it is pitched 2 degrees below horizontal. But
Brian spends a good bit of time talking about a cambered wing's ability to maintain lift at low angles of attack, and of course he still has relative wind and horizontal confused. But the fact is that has absolutely nothing to do with an airplane's ability to fly over a curved earth. Let's skip forward a little bit, shall we?
As any pitch, regardless of how small, that is below horizontal is officially considered a descent.
Well, now there's something I never heard air traffic control say. Critter 1722, Indy Center, officially descend and maintain flight level 230. Nope, never heard that one.
So could a cambered wing help a pilot have a more controlled descent? Yes, of course it could, but I am sure it is a very popular wing for descending with.
Having trouble getting that pesky wing to descend properly? The addition of just a few strategically placed Riley Mark II descend-o-matics will have that misbehaving airfoil falling out of the sky faster than bird can hit a windshield.
Other types of airfoils wings will lose all positive lift once the chord line reaches 0 degrees horizontal and below, as they cannot hold positive lift unless they are pitched up above the horizontal. As an aircraft flies, the more thrust that is imparted by the pilot will result in more downforce on the tail, which will create more positive lift, but due to the positive pressure being mainly under the front quarter of the leading edge of the wings, this will cause an upward tilting of the wings and the nose of the aircraft. So as a pilot has thrust, they must also control the pitch. This is why when a jet fighter flies fast, they keep the nose pitched at about +2 degrees above horizontal. And when they are coming into land, they will have maybe a +10 degrees pitch angle above horizontal. This is also the reason why commercial aircraft fly with a pitch angle of between +3 and +5 degrees above horizontal when flying at cruising altitude. As the faster a plane flies, the more positive lift it gains.
You're going to wear that button out.
Positive lift it gains. And that is the reason for a +2 degree pitch when flying fast and a +10 degree pitch when flying slow to land. The pilot must change and control the pitch angle in accordance with the airspeed. So when flying fast, the airplane must have its nose pushed down to stop the positive lift from creating an upward stall due to too great of a pitch angle upwards. And when flying slow, the pilot must keep a high pitch angle as there is less thrust being imparted, so raising the pitch angle will create positive lift and keep the airplane in the air.
Increasing the pitch angle will keep the airplane in the air. Brian, that's one of the better ways I can think of to bring the airplane out of the air very quickly. Let me explain. Number one, there's no such thing as an upward stall. There's no sideways stalls, no downward stalls, just a stall. Every wing has a critical angle of attack. An angle of attack is the angle between the chord line of the wing and the direction the airplane is traveling in. When that angle reaches the critical angle of attack, airflow separates from the upper surface of the wing. That's what a stall is. And when that happens, the wing loses lift, and usually the airplane puts its nose down, sometimes pretty violently. This is something that happens to pilots when they're on a landing approach. You're already slow, and you already have a high angle of attack. If you're descending too rapidly, the last thing you want to do is pull back on the yoke and slow the plane down even more. That's how you stall the airplane. We control the rate of descent by adding some power, not by increasing the angle of attack. You know, I think it's time we introduce Brian to the lift formula. Well, there it is, Brian. This formula relates lift to what we call the coefficient of lift, the density of the air the wing is flying in, the speed of the air, and the surface area of the wing itself. Notice that lift is proportional to the coefficient of lift, but lift is proportional to the square of the airspeed. That means if I double the coefficient of lift, I'll double the lift. But if I double the airspeed, I will get 4 times as much lift. There's another factor in here that I want you to pay attention to, though, and that's air density. Lift is directly proportional to the density of the air the airplane is flying in. This is why an airplane will maintain its altitude with little or no input from the pilot once it's been trimmed properly. And it's exactly the same reason why an airplane can fly over the curved surface of the earth without the pilot having to do anything. We can see all of that graphically. Here's a chart that displays coefficient of lift, coefficient of drag, and the lift to drag ratio. We're not interested in lift to drag or coefficient of drag. We're interested in the coefficient of lift. Now that coefficient is displayed on the right hand side in that red bar. Across the bottom, you see the angle of attack. The red line is the coefficient of lift, and there's a point that's identified as stall. That's the critical angle of attack. Looks like about 20 degrees. It coincides with the maximum coefficient of lift. So let's pick a point that would be fairly comfortable for takeoff in a light airplane. Let's say an angle of attack of about 12.5 degrees. That corresponds to a coefficient of lift of 1.0. Now let's go to cruise speed. We'd like to have an angle of attack of about, let's say, 4 degrees. About a third the angle of attack we needed at takeoff. That brings our coefficient of lift down to about 0.3. Well, I think our airplane's going to be pretty happy with this. Let's see. At takeoff, we had an angle of attack of 12.5 degrees. Coefficient of lift is therefore 1.0. We want to take off at an airspeed of about 30.5 meters per second. And that yields a lift of 908 kilograms. Now notice I've got the air density set for 1.22 kilograms per cubic meter, more or less what it would be at sea level. Let's see what happens at altitude. We've reduced our angle of attack to 4 degrees. The coefficient of lift, as we just saw, drops down to 0.3. But our airspeed up at cruise is 64 meters per second, a little more than double what we had at takeoff. And our lift is almost exactly the same, 907 kilograms. Notice again the air density now is down to 0.905. That would be a density equivalent to about 10,000 feet. So this is how it works in the real world. But again, pay attention to air density. That is, in fact, what allows the airplane to follow the curvature of the Earth. Now let's talk about aerodynamics a little bit and the forces that act on an airplane. The first force we have is lift. That's being generated by the wing, and that's counteracting the weight of the plane. We have thrust that is being provided by the engine, and that's counteracting the drag on the airplane. Drag's made up of a couple of components. Induced drag is the price we pay for lift, and we've got parasitic drag, which is drag created by air flowing over the surfaces of the plane. But what we can say is this: in level unaccelerated flight, lift is equal to weight and thrust is equal to drag. We've talked about angle of attack and how important it is to control that. So let's see how we do it. Here's a little airplane again. You see the relative wind, and it's not really wind at all, but it appears to be wind to the airplane because the airplane is flying in that direction. Now the angle of attack, again, is the angle between the chord line of the wing and the relative wind. Now let's have a look down here. We see the center of gravity, and you think about that like it's the balance point of the airplane. But the center of lift is behind the center of gravity. And gravity, of course, is always doing what gravity does. It's acting straight down. So because the balance point, the center of gravity, is in front of the center of lift, the airplane would naturally want to fly in an attitude like that. Well, that's not good. We need to be able to push the tail of the plane down. Now, a lot of people think the job of the tail of the plane is to hold the tail up, but it really isn't. What the tail is actually doing is pushing the rear of the airplane down and holding the nose up. Now, the horizontal tail is called the horizontal stabilizer, but on the back of the horizontal stabilizer, we have an elevator with a trim tab, and the elevator and trim tab are connected to controls in the cockpit. When the pilot pushes forward on the control yoke, the elevator will deflect downward like that, and that actually pushes the tail up. But when the pilot pulls back on the control yoke, the elevator deflects up like that, and that produces a down force on the tail. That's what we're looking for. The trim tab is just a device that allows the pilot to remove the pressure that he's having to hold on the control yoke. This is the tail of a Cessna 172. You can see the horizontal stabilizer here, and this is the elevator. The elevator is connected to the control yoke, and when the pilot pushes the control yoke forward, the elevator deflects downward like you see it now, and when you pull back on the yoke, the elevator deflects upward, and that'll cause the plane to climb. This is the trim tab. Now let's take a look at climbs and descents and the forces that act on an airplane. We've already gone over this. The little airplane in the center there is just in straight level flight. Lift is equal to weight, thrust is equal to drag. That's simple enough. Now let's make the airplane climb. I'm going to keep the airspeed the same. I'm going to do that because I'm not going to change the angle of attack. Let's let the plane climb at an angle about like that. Now this is highly exaggerated just for illustration purposes. But here's what happens. Weight still acts straight down, but lift acts perpendicular to that flight path. To get the plane to climb, we've increased the thrust. That gives us a resultant vector R1 that looks like that. But we need a vector R2 opposing R1 for the forces to be in equilibrium. Well, we've got drag, but drag didn't change because the airspeed hasn't changed. And drag alone won't give us the resultant vector we're looking for. Fortunately, gravity is helping us out, and we have a rearward component of weight. The weight of the airplane acts just like drag does. Now we have an opposing R2 vector, and the airplane is in a steady climb. All the forces are in equilibrium. Now let's see what happens in a descent. Now I'm not just going to reduce the thrust, I'm going to take it away completely. We're going to be flying a glider. We're going to let our flight path look like that. Again, weight is acting straight down, lift is acting perpendicular to our direction of travel, and drag is unchanged because, again, we didn't change our airspeed. We still have the same angle of attack. So that gives us resultant vector R1, which is opposing weight. All we need to know is where the thrust is coming from. Again, gravity is helping us out. This time, we have a forward component of weight. That forward component of weight gives us vector R2, which is opposing the lift vector. Let's exaggerate this just a little bit more for one final point. When we started, we had nothing but the forward component of weight, and it was exactly equal to drag. What happens if we add some thrust? Well, now the combination of thrust and forward component of weight still have to be equal to drag. So the forward component of weight has to be reduced, and we do that by changing our angle of descent. And if we add enough thrust, we come right back to our level flight condition, where thrust is equal to drag. Now, there's a lot more to it than this. Brian wants to make it sound like you can figure it out in just a few minutes by reading Wiki. I don't think so. But at least maybe I've given you a little better feel for what's going on. One thing that Brian has constantly said is that a commercial airliner has to put its nose below horizontal to descend. Let's see if we can put an end to that rumor. Let's let our friend Brian be the pilot on this shiny new 767 here. Just take your seat, ma'am. We'll be at the scene of the crash very shortly. The airplane's flying at 550 miles an hour. That's 48,400 feet per minute. If we descend at 2,000 feet per minute, we can lose 30,000 feet of altitude in about 15 minutes. The arctangent of 2,000 feet per minute divided by 48,400 feet per minute is 2.36 degrees. 2.36 degrees, Brian. If we were cruising at an angle of attack of 3 degrees and we pitched the nose down 2.36 degrees for descent, how did the nose go below horizontal? Just a question for you to ponder. I think we'll let that do it for this one. Brian's got about another 20 minutes of derp, and in part 2, we'll look at his contention that an airplane can't possibly fly over a globe. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit those little buttons down there. Tickle a little bell if you want notifications. Shout out to the members and the patrons and PayPals. Thanks for what you guys do. And I will see you in part 2.
Oh, sorry, Jezza, we didn't mean to wake you. That lady was screaming because Brian was going to fly the plane.
Yeah. I want to get off now. Welcome aboard. This is your captain speaking.
Like, I don't know how you can misinterpret all that, even with what I've done on video games with the airplane simulators. You learn about all the trim and the ailerons and lift and thrust.
Yep.
Brian literally got everything wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't get anything right.
It's quite impressive. It's almost as if he sat down and said, right, how does this work? How can I get everything wrong? Okay, there's this point, that point, that point. And it's like he's carefully gone through it and thought, okay, it works like this. I'll say it works like that instead, and so on and so on and so on and so on. You'd almost think it was deliberate.
It almost sounds like it.
It's not.
No, but it isn't.
It's not that hard. Come on.
No.
But you have to point your nose down to land, because that's the direction you're going.
I suppose if you keep a nose down attitude, could you call it a landing?
It'd be a quick landing.
Yeah.
It would be.
Is it one that you could walk away from? No, probably not.
Don't know. You'd get
And
that
it's
little...
strange, whenever you...
In those commercial airplanes, you'd get a certain voice coming through the speaker. Terrain.
Terrain. terrain. How many times have you watched in any way, shape, or form an aircraft landing? Does it have its nose down or does it have its nose up?
Oh, I've seen them land nose down lots of times with students.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
When they're landing properly,
yeah,
and under proper control, do they nose down or do they tend to nose up?
Yeah, just back your throttle off.
Flattered.
Yeah, just back your throttle off a bit and watch what happens.
Yeah.
If it's flat or nose down, the airplane will do its best imitation of a jackrabbit on a hot Texas highway. That thing will bounce and bounce. Usually it gets bad too.
I catch a bit. What was I watching? Oh, they'd got the old Battle of Britain film on again.
Oh.
And there's just a bit where a Spitfire pilot, or whatever, comes in, and first he tries to land with the undercarriage up, and of course they fire a flare in front of him. So he comes around again, and when he lands, he sort of boing, and he sort of bounces. He comes down again, and one of the ground crew who's in charge just stands there and goes, "Oopsie daisy." Boing. Oh dear.
Yeah, Matt flew out quick. He had to go for some reason.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Well, I think we've about wound up for the night, I think, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is part 2 of one part.
I was going to say, you're 1:45 in the morning.
Yeah, 1:45.
Mm.
Then I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, I bet.
I do too.
I better say me goodbyes out in the peanuts.
Yeah, you ought to really.
I noticed somebody did a thing for SE Montreal and his sun filter, something size or lunar eclipse thing. And I was over there listening to it. I think it was on Geos.
Yeah, that's between SE and Earth is Life.
Yeah.
Now, SE's already put out a video about it yesterday, and I believe the other side's point of view is coming out today. I don't think it's out just yet.
I swear SE gets dumber as time goes along.
Oh,
I swear it too.
Yeah, just when you thought it's not possible, you know.
Well, like Blue says, that something's not a challenge or something.
How dumb can you be?
Yeah. Stupid can you be is not a challenge. It's a question.
Oh, yes. Earth is Life's video is coming out in about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that long. No, less than that.
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
Yeah, I looked at it and said I wasn't happening yet.
SE's level of incredulity is pretty much unequaled, I think.
Yeah.
Although Bev try thinking's getting close.
I got that guy over in Gems that comes on now and again. Now I think he's got a South African accent, similar. And he just goes on and on and on.
Solar, isn't it?
Is that the one?
That's Solar. Yeah.
Is that the one,
Yeah,
Paul?
well,
You've been there sometimes.
Yeah. I've argued against him a few times. He's like lemon. He just plows through and goes on and on and on, and doesn't let anyone get a word in edgeways. And then he interrupts you, and then he complains if anyone else interrupts him.
Yeah,
it's the usual bullshit.
It's that preaching type of rhetoric that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the Weibinger syndrome.
That's it. If you keep talking, if they keep talking, then whoever's arguing with them and trying to debunk them can't be heard.
Mm.
And Gary does that an awful lot. And what he'll also do is he stopped talking, and he'll leave a pause just long enough for you to think, Right, and then he'll start talking again. Then he'll say, "Why are you over talking me?" It's like, don't you ever stop? No.
I know you have commas in your sentence, but you can usually hear the commas.
Yes. Yes, but he makes the pause just that little bit longer that you think he's reached full stop.
They just don't seem to understand the principles of a decent conversation.
Well, it's because he doesn't want you to be heard. He doesn't want the audience to hear you tearing him to shreds.
And I hate those shotgun type of things that they say in their sentences, and that you want to get onto straight away when he said it, because you're wrong there. But you've got to wait till they finish what they're saying and then go back through it and then pick out the bit.
Yeah. You supposedly got to let them get out the rest of their 5 dozen points before you can respond.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you need to write it down quickly while he's talking, or?
Well, yeah, but you can't just turn around and say every word you just said was wrong.
Yep.
Well, that's it, because they never seem to get anything right.
All right, I've done all that. I've said me goodbyes out there. Thanks, Sean Carroll, who was famous for.
Well, he's still famous. he's basically not really famous for anything. He's just a well-known theoretical physicist, because he's published lots of books and published audio.
He was never a theatrical physicist?
No, never a theatrical physicist.
Yes.
No.
Thanks, Big Blue. Thanks, Farmer's Boy. I should call you Farmer's Man, but Farmer's
No,
Boy.
I'm Farmer's Boy because my dad's a farmer.
A farmer, that's it.
Okay, so I happen to be of an age, but
thanks, Rube Fondle. Thanks, Dora. We Need Critical Thinking. Liam, Zebulon, Howie. I have to scroll up. Fred, Jezza, Liam. I say Dora? I'll say Dora twice. That'll keep her happy.
Yeah.
Fred, Don Giovanni, Demon Orb, Farmer's Boy. Oh, well, they got a spanner. I don't know. They snuck one in there.
Hey.
Stellarium. Got to scroll up further now. Jinx you. M2M was here actually, so Mippet. I think I've got everyone here. Chris Katsolis, I think he is. Dart, Flowrider, John Rapp. Still scrolling. J and C Laugh, if that makes it easier to say. Judy Bassett. I'm not getting anyone else, I don't think. No, I can't go any further. That's as far as I go. If you're still listening and I've missed you out, you've got a couple of seconds to put yourself in. Yeah, Judy was here, Dora. I read that. Oh, we got a bot out there, did we?
We did.
Yeah. Who got it that time? Dora. Oh, thanks, Dora. I can't give you a double spanner, but...
Liam was quicker. Liam got it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Liam.
Yeah.
Okay. Dora said thanks to you, Farmer, and Paul, and Blue. But you missed out on Matt. He's missed out.
That's because he's not here. So he gets instantly forgotten.
I'd like to hear Terry pronounce... Yeah, right. Smarty. There's no way I was going to pronounce whatever that is.
At least have it in English and not Cyrillic.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't even know if it's a word.
I know some of their letters are the same as ours, but at least half of them aren't.
Got no idea. How are you supposed to know what that is?
Let's just say Das Vidania and leave it at that.
reckon that the sun's going to peek around the other side of that black hole in about 5 hours.
Oh dear, that's just so derpy even for Lindsay.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Well.
I got no idea.
I wonder if they'll invite Lindsay to become a member of Globebusters.
I don't know. You see, I think that somebody pointed out when we showed it at the time that the mob on Globebusters, they will basically just go along with anything. I don't think they were fully accepting of what Lindsay had to say, but I don't. They certainly wouldn't sort of disagree with him because that's not what they do.
Google says
in
that.
there,
Never had guessed that from the Cyrillic. Okay. Dora had a go at it. Valorous Sabatina. Would never have guessed that from the Cyrillic.
You can sort of get that from the second one, maybe, but I wouldn't have got Valeris from the first.
Oh well. That's all. Night panel, night peanuts. Say good night, peanuts.
What?
Night.
Good night, peanuts. Solidarity, bro.